Hello everyone! Welcome to episode 54 of my Let's Build series. It's so lovely to see you all. I hope you're having a fantastic day and that everything is okay. I am here in my village because I have just a couple little updates before we move on to the main bulk of this episode. Let's get started with that, shall we? So, as you can see, everyone in this village is doing fantastic. There's lots of hearts, there's babies being born, and I asked you guys to name our first two villagers. Instead of adding name tags to them, I actually decided to just name their houses. So, we have a librarian named Aries. I felt like our librarian just seemed like an Aries. He started out with Curse of Vanishing. I did change his trade, like you guys all suggested in the comments. Thank you so much for all of your help with this village. I've been sure to add a bell as well to our centerpiece, as you can see there. And over here by our cleric's house, we have Virgo. And our cleric just seemed like a Virgo to me. He didn't even want to sleep on his bed. He couldn't figure out how to get around to it. I just think it suited him. And finally, we need one more addition to this village to make it complete. And that is, of course, an iron golem. I can't be here in this village constantly. I obviously still have to be building up our lovely palace over there. So, I need somebody who can help me out with all of this lovely defending of the villagers. I'm hoping this iron golem will do just that. Although I have done my absolute best to mob-proof this entire place, I think they could still use a little bit of help. There we are. Oh, whoops. I used one extra block of iron. My bad. I forget how to make an iron golem. Haven't made one in forever. Oh, he's so cute. He'll be a wonderful defender of our village, I believe. Everything is perfect. Right. Let's move on to what we need to get done today. Over in the palace. Most of the rooms on the interior of my palace are pretty much complete. I mean, there's a few details missing from pretty much every room, but they're all small things, like the lighting, the torches, stuff like that. But through here, we have very little space completed. So I've done a little tiny bit of setting up in here, and I would like today to be the day that we finally build our master bedroom up in this end of the palace. So the first thing we have to do is make this look a little bit more like a room. This upstairs part is tricky because of the sloping roof. So what I'm going to do is build up some walls and give this room a little bit more shape and design to it using this lovely gray clay, which I have lots of from the mesa. That should hopefully help this shape up quite a bit and turn into more of a proper room. Look at this, everyone! Finally, when we walk through this hallway, we can no longer see all of the unfinished structures all the way through there. Walking through our library, there is now a room here. I know it's not perfect and it's still kind of dark and there's lots of sloping ceilings still, but this is a massive improvement in my opinion. We'll still have a room back here for observing the moon, of course, but it's so nice to have the bedroom separated off. This is so lovely. So the next step that I would like to do is actually create the bed. This is, of course, a very important step for us. We've never had a place to actually lay our bed. I always just carry a bed around. And I think this master bedroom is going to have a bed that sort of looks pretty, but we will have some actual player-size beds in here as well. Let's start things off with that pretty bed I mentioned, though. I think about 3 blocks in, maybe? Well, that'll only give us 3 wide. Is 3 wide enough? No, I think I'd like to go much wider. I want this to be an epic bed. This is the queen's room, of course, the owner of the palace. It's gotta be good. I think that should do it in terms of the size. Let me just strip those. We don't want any white showing through. Perfect. And then maybe we can do something like this along the edge. Want to do like one of those big beds with like what are they called? The 4-poster beds? Something like that? Let me actually Google it so I know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, so it looks like it is a 4-poster bed, and the one that I was just looking at does have a canopy. I don't think I'm going to do a fancy canopy for mine, just because in Minecraft doing curtains with full blocks on this small scale I think is going to look a little bit too blocky for my likings. Hopefully I'll be able to come up with a design that I like though. I know that I definitely want to tie in some of this prismarine, perhaps on each of these posts right here, like so. Could be perfect. And let's just finish off filling in this side, and then in the middle we will of course do the bedding, which I have chosen cyan for this. I think it fits our very oceany theme that I'm going for. I'm excited to use it. Alright, and then for the pillow, I'm going with the snow block because the snow block has snow layers that I can actually use. Now the only problem is the snow layers might actually melt, so if that happens I will just switch to white carpet, but I'm going to try it. It looks like I ran out of cyan, so I'm actually going to try something that I was thinking of anyways, which is to just do a row of this light blue, almost like the bedding is sort of like folded over on the edge or has a slightly different pattern. I think that could be quite lovely. There, that looks sort of like a bed, right? It's very large and a bit odd to see in Minecraft, but I like it. Now I want to make sure the rest of these posts all get built up. Maybe 2 of these fences and then another wall block would do the trick. There, that's looking about right so far. It's kind of how I pictured it, I think. And now I think maybe along the edges we can just do some slabs. Something fairly simple. I might use banners in this design. I haven't quite decided yet if I want to or not, but I think some banners hanging off of that might not be a bad thing. Let me quickly just bring up some scaffold. That way I'll be able to properly see what I would like to do. Maybe we can bring it across and up like so. I'll just mark it out. We can always delete it if I decide that I don't like it. Oh, and we need a little bit more. Oh, I don't think that's bad at all. It still looks like it could sort of have a canopy, but that the curtains just maybe aren't up yet. And I think with some banners on these corners, it'll really bring it together. The only thing is, it's still a little bit dark in here, and I don't want mobs spawning on top of that, so I think some end rods might add that little touch of sparkle that we're missing. Yes! That is lovely. Oh, it looks like a bed fit for a queen. All I need now is those banners. Unfortunately, I'm not sure that I have any, and I don't have a lot of cyan wool. Oh well, a trip out to the wool farm it is for me, I suppose. Alright. This should be enough wool, I think. I hope. 3 more pieces. Thank you very much, sheep. You have been doing well. Home sweet home. Let's see how these banners hold up here. I've made 4 of them. I think that's probably going to be enough just on the ends over here. Hey, yes, I think I really do like that. It definitely adds quite a lot. Maybe a couple more on the other 2. Let's just try it. Why not? There we go. That definitely adds so much more life to this room. Oh, I love that so much. We need something else to go up in this corner as well to design it. Maybe like an old painting hanging or something like that, just to bring some life to that section of the room where it's very dark right now. And I think in front of this area, I would like to have some carpet. Like right here, just to really soften up this big room. It's got a lot of open space in it, and I would like to kind of close that off a little bit and just add in some of the soft carpet. I think it would really help. I definitely want to use some yellow as well. I think something like that in the middle of the room will do wonderfully for a little rug. And now we need some different shelving, some tables, some planters, some greenery, various other things that you would find in a room. Hopefully I'll be able to pull this together. Let's see what I have. Before I get on to too much more of the detailing, I do want to go ahead and just add the trim that goes along these floorboards here. Everywhere else where I've done this gray, I've put soul sand along the bottom, and I think it adds such a nice touch and texture to this very plain wall. I don't want to forget about it. Doing these planter boxes with the sea lanterns really helps to light up the room, and goodness knows we could use the help. We have to get rid of some of these torches. We look a little bit crazy at this point, but that's alright. We'll get rid of them in time. I think the next thing that I would really like to have around this room in a few spots is some different varieties of shelving. So for that, I'm just going to be stacking up some of these trapdoors. Maybe we'll go about that high, and then like so. Oh, actually I don't need that one. And then when we flip them up like so, it just creates this little sort of bookshelf-like feel. And I really like the way that this looks. It adds a lot to a room, I think, even though we can't put anything on it currently. Yes, that'll be lovely to have little pieces of furniture around like that. Now, what else does a bedroom need? I was going to add some bookshelves, but this bedroom is literally directly into a library, so I'm not so sure we need one. But maybe a small desk and private bookshelf area over here wouldn't be such a bad idea. Perhaps the people who live here, or maybe myself, if I am being the person who lives here, has a private collection of books that they would like to keep. So I will just allow them to do that. I'll add in a little bit of shelving, just like this. There we go. I'm hoping that'll look like a desk. Yes, I do think it sort of does look like a desk. Perfect, and now I can use an item frame on there to make it look like there is something actually on the desk, and that should be perfect. Maybe we can even do a little bit of a lamp with an end rod. Let me quickly just grab one. There we are. Now what do we want our lamp top to be? Maybe an emerald block? That could be quite extravagant. Let me try it. Haven't got anything to lose, have we? Oh my goodness. It does look a little bit silly perhaps, but I don't hate it. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I kinda hate it. Let's change that up. It's a little bit too crazy. Maybe with the old emerald block design it would have worked, but it doesn't work with that one. Perhaps melons would be better? Let's try the melon. Hey, the melon looks a lot more like a shade, although it does look sort of modern. But I'm gonna leave it alone. I think that's perfectly fine. Now, I will say I don't actually have any item frames on me to place anything on the desk, but that's okay. We kind of get the point from over here. One of the things we need, of course, that is very important is actual beds for me to come up and sleep on. So I think what I would like to do for this is actually create a little bit of a couch design over here. Just somewhere that looks like a spot where you would sit, but in reality, it's actually where I'm going to be doing all of my sleeping. Hopefully this will make some sense to all of you. That kind of looks like a couch, right? The bed is a little bit on the small side, I think. Maybe some slabs on the sides of the arms instead could have maybe done a better trick. Yeah, something like that is not bad at all. Now, I do want to add in a little bit of a footrest there, just to decorate the area a little bit better. Maybe directly where that is, just like so. And then some slabs in the middle. Brilliant! That does look like a couch, and it fits the furniture in the room so well. Oh, I love this room so much already. Interior design is just so inspiring to do. I think the next thing I would like to tackle, though, is some chandeliers for this room. It is very, very dark. Oh my goodness. A few of you have asked why I haven't been using lanterns in my actual builds, and it's simply because I don't think it fits in with this design too well. I have used lanterns in a few spots, like I believe we have some in this hallway right here, yep, right there, and I think we've got a few more hanging around the library in spots, and they do fit in with those designs, but sometimes I just like the cleaner and whiter look of the sea lanterns and the end rods for this type of theme that we're going for. So that's the reason, if you were ever wondering. I think in order to actually put chandeliers in this room, I want to break up the ceiling a little bit more. So I'd like to drag some of these pillars all the way across here. This is going to be a little bit of a mission. Let me grab some of my logs. I just think whenever you have such a big space like this, it's important to break it up as much as you can. And I'm hoping this will help with that. So I think at about this level right here, we will just drag across a log. Should be simple enough. There, and even though I have torches along those beams, you can't really notice the torches unless you're at certain angles, so I am going to be leaving those up there. Really not noticeable, but they keep the entire ceiling a lot more lit up so that you can appreciate the height of the entire room, which I personally really enjoy. Next up, of course, we've got to hang some of those lovely sea lanterns from here, so me get up there and do that. Now these sea lanterns, they're not actually going to provide very much lighting at all. The main thing they do is give the illusion that there is light being emitted from these. And also, they're gonna look pretty. Otherwise, they don't really do much. They're definitely not lighting up the floor. But you've got to admit, it's kind of nice having a sea lantern hanging like that. Here we are. Just that small addition of lighting hanging already makes this room feel so much more brighter and nicer, like a proper bedroom for a queen or king. I love it. Alright, so next in line, we need to actually figure out how we are going to light this room because, the torches are ugly and I'm so sick of looking at torches. But the problem is, that's our kitchen down there. So if I put lighting here, I have to then go underneath and put a trap door over it so that you can't really notice it from down below. I think I am desperate enough that I am going to go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do up here to cover it up because I can't sink it down is actually use some of that brown wool I've got, there we go, and just cover it with some brown carpet. This will be slightly noticeable, but I don't think it'll be too bad that it distracts from the room. Hopefully it'll be perfectly fine. Let's start with these corners over here. Alright, that was actually super simple to do, and I really don't think it looks that odd. It's a little tiny bit distracting, I agree, but I'm going to put a little bit more furniture in here, and hopefully that'll help distract us from the fact that we have brown wool around even more. And also, maybe I can extend this rug in the center here just to kind of help balance things out a little bit. Maybe I'll add a layer of light blue that kind of fades into this brown. That could be cool. Alright everyone, our bedroom is finally complete, I think. I've added in another little chair over here that we can just sit and relax on and look at the whole room. I really love it. I didn't feel the need to completely fill it up with furniture. I think this is just the right amount for what we need. I love the curving walls here. I think they're so wonderful. When we exit the bedroom, we now just have one room in this whole entire palace left to fill, and that is this room here. This is almost like a balcony. It has a great view of everything, all of the oceans on 3 sides, as well as any of the boats that are coming into our little canal. This is a really important spot, and I want it to be our moon observatory room because the moon rises right through this large area here. And we don't have a very good view right now, so I want to finally take down this last bit of cobble. This cobble is the only cobble left in this entire palace from that outline that we put up back on episode 9, almost an entire year ago. We marked out our plan for this castle, and now it's done. All of our plans have come to life, and the moon is rising. Oh, I'm so proud of all of us for doing this. Thank you for putting up with me through this entire series. I'm so excited to finally finish the interior of this last room. I of course have some final stages of clearing up to do in almost all of the rooms, and while I'm having a little chat with you and reading today's comment or question of the day, I wanted to go ahead and do a little bit of cleaning and tidying up in these rooms over here. This section is going to be basically our smaller bedrooms where people in the palace who maybe aren't quite as important or are just family who are visiting or whatever would stay here instead of in the main master bedroom. And I think since we're doing a bit of a bedroomy episode, why not get some of this done right now? And before I get too carried away, today's comment or question of the day is actually the most recent comment on my last episode. This comment is from Shelby, who says, "Oh my goodness, I just spent the entire day binging this whole series on 2x speed. It is so incredibly inspiring to see the amount of progress that you've made, and I've always wanted to play Minecraft but only got my own computer to download it in the past year when I went to university. I've been playing it a lot with my friends, and even though there are so many more of us playing in that world, we barely finished the starter house and it's so ugly. I hope I can incorporate some of the things I've learned from your build into that world. I subscribe so I can keep up with the series. I can't wait until everything is finished. If you finish the area around the Guardian farm, will you show it on camera? I'm really curious about how you designed the laboratory as well as the basement bunker. Thank you for uploading." Shelby, thank you so much for that incredibly kind comment. I was so happy reading that, and I'm so glad you're inspired by my world. I hope your world turns out to be something so much more beautiful than you had planned. It sounds like it definitely has the potential. Something funny that's been happening in this series recently is I've actually gained more subscribers in the last 2 months than I even had when I started this series. So we're getting a lot of new people who don't know anything about the channel or the series coming in and checking it out. And if you are one of those people, thank you so much for giving this series a chance. It really means a lot to me, as I've been working so hard on this palace and tropical world for the last year. Thank you for wanting to be a part of it and see the progress. As for the bunker and other areas of the palace that maybe got a little bit left behind, I do want to finish them, but I'm not 100% sure if we're going to get to every single thing that we had planned. The thing about a world like this is that it is infinite, and that's the beautiful thing about Minecraft, and it can also be the challenging thing about Minecraft. We could be in this world for the next 3 years and not finish all of my plans. At some point, I'm going to call it done. It won't be perfect, but it'll be done. And don't worry, I'm not doing it right this minute. I am going to finish the palace. I'm definitely going to finish the palace, don't worry. But at some point it will be done. And I'm not sure when that point is going to come yet, but I'm excited for it. I want to be able to call this world finished and look back at what I've done here and be so proud of it. I'm so excited for that moment. And I'm glad that all of you are too. I really want to be able to show it off and talk about all of the things that I've learned throughout building this entire palace. Anyways, I'm sure at this point you've heard quite enough of me rambling, so I'm going to go ahead and design a couple of these rooms, and I think I will call this episode here. It's been so much fun. Thank you for sticking by and watching me build this interior. I had so much fun doing it, and look at this bedroom that we accomplished. I'm so proud of us. I'm really enjoying looking at the master bedroom, and it's going to be so nice to finally have a place to come and sleep. Thank you all for watching this episode, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye, everyone!